Hello besties, and today we're going to read some entitled people Reddit stories and from other subreddits too, but it's all going to be about entitlement. So let's start. Our first story for today will be titled Neighbor owns driveway wants me to pay 100% of maintenance. I bought a house last year and get an entitled neighbor. The neighbor will call him Rick and I have been in an ongoing dispute over the driveway. Here is the sitch. Rick owns the driveway. I have legal right of way to Rick to access my property. Except Rick doesn't just casually use this driveway, he uses it constantly for his business. Deliveries, trucks like UPS and FedEx, visitors, USPS, mail truck comes up to it. Daily use. I have literally documented things in multiple times a day. I have a nest cam on driveway 24/7 because I felt like I was entering some alternate reality where flexible becoming optional. Now here's where the entitlement enters the arena and super outlet. First, I asked Fox that he pays 50% for flowing. We are in a city in Vermont. It's no problem, yeah? He claims I'm demanding too much because he uses the driveway so little and I have 3 units on my property. Yeah, I had to buy a duplex. It was going to be sold out from under us. I don't make any income from my tenants. They're my friends, and one of them is Butler Hunter. I'm not a slumlord. However, Rick owns 4 properties. One a condo, a private farm cabin, plus his house and his personal living and childcare next to my place. The counter offers a fair 15%. I say no. He's got deliveries and pickups for his kid and he has his one and only friend come over and sing probably at 9:30 at night. He reaches out again to ask if I accept his things offer. I don't know. He responds that since I didn't respond to his 15 offer a second time, he's decided I should be supposed to pay 100% of the minimum. Not 50/50, not proportional to actually used to be, not just flowing. The water fight is an entirely calculation. Not a discussion, not an speculation. Step us to owning our people and delivery trucks. That's his energy all I had decided he works this for now. As I don't have been able to operate with this level of the rules of 401 except me energy. P.S. I'm attempting to find a right because there is nothing in the deed other than right of way. There is often a right. Okay, I think the entitlement on this neighbor part is big, but I think this neighbor is entitled to at least a little tiny bit because it's not actually his driveway. But also, if it's not actually his driveway, he's not responsible for it. The problem is that he will eventually do need to use his driveway, but I think if the neighbor really needs it, really he wants to have his delivery pickups arriving and his kids pickups arriving, he will eventually clean the space. I think given the time. But maybe not, I can actually imagine how this looks. I really don't. Come on, let's read the comments. We're going to make the lot the closure. I would record or take video or photos of him using the driveway for business and deliveries and just access to his property. Depends on the state and what the deed says. If you are the only one using it, it would be on you. If you both use it, it would typically be 50/50. Yeah. Anyway, another comment. A neighbor behind me did the same issue. She had to hire a real estate lawyer. There was a cease and desist order on the owner of the right of way, and the owner now has to pay it because it is a nice investment of must. It was worth it for her because he would block her and her family across all his cars, pile wood branches on the right of way to make it nearly impossible. I called the fire department him because emergency vehicles could not access her house. Guys, a cop, they did not do anything to help. Yeah. Ruby replied, wow, that sounds next level horrible. Yes, the guy's a cop, he will get away with it. Sadly. Sadly, people who become cops are not always good guys. Um, Someone else commented, can you put in your own driveway across your property? Someone replied, suppose it's what I suggest. Let him take care of his own driveway and you take care of yours. Well, he needs the driver to access his property. I mean, if he had some other way around it, I don't think he would actually be battling for, for 50-50. I think he'd rather just make another parking space. Someone also commented, can you build next? Oh, it's another commenter that actually asked if he can build next driveway on a different side of your property. Obi replied, it's a flag property and the sections that pass onto the road is too narrow to build a driveway on the road. Find a portion of Rick's law. Yeah, he will still need to buy space from him. Not so good, not so good. Someone also commented, I know this sounds pretty silly probably, but is there any way that the driveway could be plowed only to your door? Then you would tell him you paid for your 50% of the driveway to be plowed, and if he wants to reach his door, he would have to pay the other 50. He replied, I wish, but it's like a flipped L. Oh, I got it. Yeah, that's like one payment, but it kind of goes to the right or to the left, I guess. Yeah, that would be a bummer. Well, I didn't have anything to suggest 2 p.m. It's been 2 months. Maybe there is an update, but I highly doubt it because, well, I can't access because his account is restricted. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. This story is titled, Why Haven't You Done Our Driveway? So, I live in an area that gets a lot of snow, and since I recently retired, I decided to graduate from shoveling my driveway and bought myself a snowblower. I get up early whenever we get some snowfall and clear my driveway, and, time permitting, the driveway of the neighbors on each side of me. One a fellow retiree and the other a widow. A few days ago, we got done, so I did my driveway and my neighbors, put the blower away, and decided to binge some Sopranos. Just as I was settling, there was a knock on my door, and while I answered the door, there stood Karen. Karen and her husband moved into the neighborhood a few months ago, but our front door is dumb for me. I opened the door to be met with, we're having done our driveway yet, we're going to be late for work. I saw you finish the order too. It suddenly dawned on me she expected me to clear her driveway as well. I calmly explained that I do the order to dress as a kindness for the people on either side of me. She started with, we're your neighbors too, and stay there. I realized she had no intention of leaving, so without skipping a beat, I closed my door, locked it, and went back to my lazy boy. Oh my gosh, why would you assume that someone would clean out your driveway? I mean, you can assume if I was a neighbor, next to the neighbors next, I would have a slight hope that he would deem my driveway in the need of cleaning too and would offer the same kindness to me. But being 5 doors down from that and, seeing just him cleaning 2 other driveways with his own and assuming that out of all other neighbors he would be the next chosen one is, well, it's not only entitled, it's kind of stupid too. Some of the comments. I wonder where my ex-stepmother moved. That's a funny one. Another commenter. In quotation. They pay me $200 to each time I clear their driveway. Seems like a lot to me too, but if you're still interested in clearing yours, I'll give you the same deal. I think it would be a better way to deal with it. But someone answering to the comment said, not worth it. I don't know the zero in case they say yes. Oh my god, same when I was doing some small jobs that required me putting my own price, I sometimes didn't want to do the work, not because I was lazy or something to that. Well, yes, I was lazy. I was. But sometimes the work required like writing 19 pages down. Or not 19, 90. There was 9 topics and you had to write 10 pages by hand on each topic. So there were 90 pages. And I said such an atrocious phrase that actually disappeared with me. And it was like, well, fair. Because if they agreed, I would actually, the money I would get for that would actually be worth it. But since they disagreed, I was like, well, less work for me and less money. But I wasn't about to do it for less. Someone also commented, I bought my current home when I turned 50. The first big snow there was a cow valley with neighbors who would use a snowblower to clear everyone's driveway and Nava Street as well since the plow took a day or two. Nearly 20 years later, as people have aged and are no longer able to shovel out, there are always kids to pay to shovel or kind souls to clear us. I have never expected it to be done, but have been very appreciative. Can believe the entitlement, and you handled it perfectly. Yes, you can hope someone offers you the same kind of kindness and the same kind of consideration, but you can't rely on it. Don't rely on it ever. Someone I think confused subreddits a bit because the comment says, "Totally not the asshole here. Well done." Our house burned down in 2005. No one was hurt. The neighbors on the entire block were so generous and supportive that I used Miss Green Steel, yes, I made my snow thrower, to plow about 25 driveways and sidewalks for nearly 2 years. Before that happened, the first year we moved in, I saw a guy clearing a driveway and sidewalk a couple of houses down. Didn't know he lives there because there was a flatbed tow truck parked in front of his house and I simply assumed he was a service for hire. I asked him if I could pay him to do my driveway. He asked, "Are you guys the new neighbors?" When I told him we were, he said not to worry about it and plowed everything. And we were on the corner, so the sidewalk was about 150 inches, I guess, long. I was refusing to accept money. It's all about people around you are. If anyone came to me expecting me to do it for free, I'd have just stood there in silence with the door open until they got so uncomfortable they'd have to leave with their heads down, hung low, and contemplated their entitled attitude. See, commenter, I don't think she was contemplating. I don't think she even actually thought about that him closing the door in her face was actually her own fault. I think she just assumed he was rude as hell. So there's that. So let's move on to the next story. Next story is titled Yet Another Switch Encounter. Switches are the quintessential EM magnets on this app, so home throw onto your butts. I have yet another Switch story. To preface this, the Switch Lite came out about 7 days before this entitled mother encounter happened. Also, I replaced my Switch and Joy-Con shells with all white shells from Bus Stop. So now my normal Switch doesn't have the color coding and from a distance looks kinda similar to a Switch Lite with their new pastel color scheme. Lastly, I use that no time limit plus minimal SRB rating parental control trick to essentially password protect my Switch. All this will play a part in this encounter. I'm gonna assume y'all can figure out the abbreviation. I'm traveling to the Denver airport on the Denver RTD airport train after finishing a 2-day work meeting. The whole train ride is about 40 minutes from where I can get on since there is a half dozen stops until the airport station. So I settle down in my seat and to pass the time I pop on my headphones, pull out my Switch, and proceed to continue my Link's Awakening playthrough. After a short while, this curious kid, probably 9-10ish, approaches me and taps me on my knee. He happened to be carrying the new yellow Switch Lite. Curious kid, is that a white Switch Lite? I didn't know they had that color. Is that a special edition? Me, sorry kid, this is just a regular Switch with a white shell. This is to remove the Joy-Cons to show him it's a regular. Curious kid, oh cool. I didn't know the regular Switch came in white. The color looks so cool. My grandma and grandpa just bought me the yellow Switch Lite. Shows me his Switch. Yeah, this is why I got it. All white looks real cool, but normal Switches aren't sold in this color either. I had to buy this shell specially and take apart my Switch to swap them out. Your yellow one is so cool. He processed asked me about replacing the shell on the Switch. I told him about getting the shell on Amazon using special tools for special screws on the Switch, delicately replacing the shells and finally putting the whole thing together. All in all, a pleasant conversation with a curious kid. After a bit, he runs all back to his seat and assumes that's it and go back to killing moblins. A few moments later, someone else slaps me on the shoulder, so I look up and see the lady staring at me, and tell her mother, "My son really likes your white-collar Switch Lite. He said you made it yourself?" I have given this up and not to guess where this is going, but I'm gonna try to be polite nonetheless. Me. Oh yeah, well, I wouldn't put it as made it myself. I just bought some replacement shells on Amazon and replaced the factory shell with the new ones. EM. I bet they don't sell this color. My son really likes it. Me. Well, Nintendo might release a white one later, or some combat might still replace the Switch Lite shells down the line. But my son really likes your wife now. Me, lady, I'm not telling to you if that's what you're trying to imply. That mother is coughing. Well, fine, we can just trade my sons for yours. We can just make a new white one from his. Me, yeah, no, I'm not trading either. If you're trying to get me to give up my switch, just stop and please leave me alone. I don't see what's the fuss. I just trade with my son's wages are the same thing. Me, one, there's no need to start yelling. Two, they're not the same thing. I have a regular switch, remove Joy-Con again to show, which means this by default is worth $100 more than a Switch Lite. This would be an unfair trade, but even without the added money spent on modification. Lastly, and mostly importantly, I don't want to trade. Don't tell me what to do. You teenagers have no respect and are always rude. There's no way your is $100 more than my son's. They're the same time. I'm Asian and I curse with a perpetually useful appearance. At this point, I'm tired of the encounter and knowing where it could head, turn off my switch and pack it up into my backpack. Because the ticketing officer just entered our carriage to check the tickets of recently boarded passengers and notices the I'm yelling. As she approaches, I knew that the encounter was going to turn stupid and was prepared to defend myself. Ticketing officer, what seems to be the problem, ma'am? This thief just tricked my son into trading his special Nintendo for a worse version. I want my son's Nintendo back and this thing should arrested. You hope to be forgiven me. Okay, ma'am, just calm down and I'll sort this out. Lady, I'm 34, not a teen. Officer, this is not the West and I have multiple ways of proving it. He's lying. Ma'am, let me handle it. Extra. Nintendo doesn't make a light switch, so I'll prove my phone that I made enough to the aftermarket modification to make it right. I think I have my phone proceed to pull up the Amazon corner office for the shelf parts and some photos of finished shelf swaps that I used to show to his friends. He always took those pictures just now. Ma'am, those pictures and the Amazon order are from September 2018. So the pictures are obviously taken on the desk. I also have a pin pass that logs the game and the eShop on my Switch and can enter into Pro Team. Ma'am Leno, he obviously put the lock on after he stole my sons. Ignore the I proceed to unlock the Switch and also show the officer my account info with my email address and name. Ma'am, the evidence shows that he is rather owner of this device. I would advise you to drop the issue and stop bothering him. Why are you believing him? He must have put his account his phone on after he took the switch. I'm about to reply when an angry lady comes up to the aisle. Jen, entitled mom, you've been gone forever. What's going over here? Shush mom and handle it. Here is claiming I took your grandson's switch and gave him mine. Curious Child said you brought him as a present. Is it true, ma'am? Did you buy your grandson his gaming device? Jim, Curious Child's featured game sync? Yes, Curious Child's grandfather and I bought it for him as a present. And to clarify, is it the one in the gentleman's hand as the one you bought? No, that's a different color. I think we bought a yellow one. Obviously deflates and has a defeated look on her face now. GM is just shaking her head. Ma'am, this is clearly the gentleman device. I'm going to ask you to stop bothering him. If you continue to do so, I'll be forced to ask you to deboard the train at the next stop and we'll wait for the next train. GM and EM head back towards their seats and while GM is furiously whispering at EM. I didn't get much Link's Awakening progress while on RTD, but they did the game on the flight home. Oh, that's quite a story, and it was wow. I didn't think it would be that big to read. Also, just I can get behind people actually can't understand their logic, but pretending that someone stole your device while you're trying to steal it. Oh my gosh, I'm just glad that and everyone else was on OP's side, but honestly, that's how to even grow up like this. And this grandma does seem to be a good person, a nice person at least, someone not so entitled. And the mom grew up like that under her. Oh my god, I don't know where everything went wrong. Just to prove that bringing by surprise doesn't necessarily mean that the child will be as they were brought up. Someone commented, and this is why if I ever buy a Switch, I will never take it out when I'm in public places. He replied, I have had mine for almost 2 years now. This is the first and only entitled mother encounter I have had, and it was only a few weeks ago. Yes. Another commenter. That kid sounds really nice. I hope he owns some white shell, but I don't know. I don't look for those things. I just buy games. Hope replies. Perplexed is a shame of the light may be harder than on the regular Switch. I don't know. It was 7 years ago, and I never actually owned a Switch, so someone also commented, even though you know all the digital ways to prove your ownership, I'd like to still share a trick I use. I just leave it behind the kickstand. This sticker fits perfectly and is hidden when the stand is closed. Bonus point is they have some kind of image with them, and the one I use are from a donation jar with Saint Jude and have childlike doodles of a kitten flower. However, is this pretty a good idea? Also, the persistent EM will still claim you put the sticker on just now after installed. Yes, and someone can always connect it, just put the sticker there. But it can also put your contact information on the sticker behind, so if you ever lose this, there's at least a chance that the kind someone finds it and actually, contacts you. Because I have loosened my earphones a few times, and one time I actually got them back. And the last commenter for this post, maybe you should buy a Switch just so you can have a story to post on this subreddit. Maybe you should. Maybe you should. Maybe they should. Okay, let's move to the next story. And the next story will be from Art choosing bed dress, which I haven't seen around, but it's particularly popular from the stats I see. So let's read from this. Demanding counter pageant in the local theater. So this was during the premiere of Avengers Infinity War and the mall was packed. The line to the movie theater inside was incredibly long, and my mom and I were at the very end. I wanted to buy some popcorn, so I walked over to the snack line. I was behind the group of friends, and in front of them was an elderly woman and what I presume was her daughter. Basically, I was just looking around and glancing at the line to the movies a few times before turning my attention to the screaming woman in front, who, you guessed it, is the woman next to what I think is her mother. She kept complaining about how the biggest size wasn't available and they're just despisable. I mean, these guys work all day, and the specific day had to be one of the busiest. It was understandable for them to run out of the biggest order so they can sell in smaller quantities. So what happened next was disgusting. She said something along the lines of, I have cancer, what the fuck is wrong with you? You should at least compensate by giving me every order. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to walk away, but I just felt compelled to listen in. She just kept cursing at the poor employee, even going so far as to say that she'd die before she got her order. At this point, the girl walked away, and all I did was look and listen. Her mother turned around and saw me. I don't remember what she says to her kid. She's around her 40s, by the way, but she definitely acts like one. But after that, she stormed off, and her mom followed her. They didn't even watch the movie anymore. Afterwards, I didn't really feel this, so I didn't order anymore. I just bought some water in one of the other stalls, walked back to my mom since the line was already pretty short, and told her about it. P.S. I don't hate cancer punches and am an active supporter for a cure and the cause itself. What I hate is the way some people can use their illness, whether it be physical, mental, or terminal, to be rude and disrespectful towards others, and I hope that many people also agree with that sentiment. Well, in CLP, I think that woman didn't actually have cancer. She might have, but I don't think she would have the energy to actually be that demanding. Maybe, look, I don't know about cancer patients. I just know that cure would be pretty awesome to have the cure for it, and I know it's hard for them. I'm not really dedicated in that department, but I don't think a cancer patient would actually have that much energy to fight with for some popcorn. Probably, there are some comments, and OP is one of them. In retrospect, this kind of story may cause a few to the mods, as I did talk about a sensitive subject, and it may have triggered other people who suffer from a terminal illness, and for that I sincerely apologize. But that was not my intention. I will not take this story down, since I would still like to point out that being an ass can be excused by suffering state illness or disorder. Also, not all female cancer patients are like this. I have met some myself and they're lovely people, gorgeous despite being their decline in health. I just like anyone out there to know that I didn't intend for this to be sexist or outplaced, and some may call it. It's nothing more than a story I wanted to share on this little subreddit. Someone replies to that, ask them, who gives a shit when the download army of 13-year-old things. A piece of shit is a piece of shit, and no illness makes them immune to being called out on being a piece of shit, even if the 13 years old thinks you're being meaning. But we replied, Preach, I still don't understand why people act all high and mighty when they think they can show their pouring behavior with an illness. Also, I don't care about the downloads all that much. I just want to explain what someone might have downloaded, and it was a very aggressive reply. I love it. Someone also comments, someone commented she doesn't have cancer. She is cancer. It's a little mean. Um, okay, someone also commented, as a former CSR, that here I have insert disease often as a reason why I should give them something. I was very much unable to. The reply of no always was met with screams of how heartless I was and how I had no idea what it's like. The last bit always bugged me, so much in fact more often than not I would get personal and tell them about my death, who in fact was dying of cancer at the time. That usually quickly shuts them up. Sometimes they even go back to apologize. I say usually because on a rare occasion it'll backfire and they go into, you should help me then because you know what it's like. Ruby replied, I'm so sorry I had to experience that while your father was suffering. I truly hope in the future no one else has to deal with the lack of basic etiquette. Okay, another commenter. I work with cancer patients. 99% would never behave this way. However, some people handle cancer differently and can lash out at everything. Some have brain mets and it affects their behavior and thinking. That being said, chances are it's someone lying. Or is it they who do have cancer that aren't at the point they can see beyond their own situation yet? Yes, it's likely does have cancer. I don't think that she's too far into her um what's called into her treatment, or I don't know. Honestly, if someone knows about it, just please provide in the comments what do you think of it, because I honestly don't know much about the subject. So yes, let's move to the next story. Our last story for today comes from I Don't Work Here Lady, and the title is I Just Got Fired. I never thought I would experience this in my lifetime. I am a hard worker, extremely dependable and respectful. Not sure how I could lose a job like this, especially when I only just got it. So I work late and just about every night for the last few weeks at least. I stop by Walmart to get something for dinner. I usually get off around midnight and stop by on my way home. Every time I'm at Walmart, barely anyone is there except for the night crew, stocking up the store and doing their own thing. Now, from what I have noticed, they don't have much of a uniform. Many of them are in hoodies or jackets of different colors. Just to add some context, I shopped up last night and I'm wearing a hoodie. I begin to walk up and down the aisles trying to figure out what I want for dinner. I was thinking pasta and walk past a few guys who are loading the shelves. All of a sudden, I start hearing this guy yelling. This voice gets louder. Hey, hey, are you listening? I turn to look to see what is going on, and this guy approaches me. You're late again. Don't think I haven't noticed you walking in the door after 12. I begin to laugh, thinking this guy is joking around. Before I can say anything, he jumps up on me. You think this is funny? Your job must not be important to you. I want you to follow me to the office. Now I'm completely confused and start looking around like I'm on some hiding camera show. He starts to walk up, and I turn around and go back to shopping. He comes back a minute later and starts to yell, You want to be fired? Because if you don't come with me now, I will fire you. I start to laugh in my heart and then ask him, What's my name? He gives me this puzzled look, so I ask him again, What's my name? Do you even know who I am? He looks at the other guy in the aisle, who has stopped stalking the shadows at this point to watch this event unfold. He then looks back at me, trying to figure out what exactly to say back to me before his head explodes. Good luck finding the paperwork to fire me when you don't even know my name. I continue to laugh at this whole stupid charade and pick some ingredients for spaghetti, trying to give this guy a clue. He starts off and I look at the other guys in the aisle. I'm sure he will figure out eventually. I don't work here. They start laughing and I go on. I can't believe I lost the job I just found out I had in the same night. Wow, but yeah, Under the search for P, it's incredible how fast one can lose job in today's life. Well, on a serious note, yes, it can happen, absolutely. And don't get sad about it. Sometimes it's situations like this when you can't exactly control what other people think, or you can control the entitlement level of other people. So don't get too hard on yourself, but always be careful because it's contagious. You might get it yourself. Some of the commenters, Guy is frantically searching through the personal files looking for you. No, you need to keep coming back every night to tell him until he figures it out. Yes, keep coming back. You got fired, but you're still coming back because you're a very hardworking person. Someone also commented, quick tip. If you want to go again tonight, let us know what happens. I'd love to hear whether he tries again. So that's actually all the comments are just really funny comments, all the jokes. Um, So yes, this story is tagged as a XL, but it's not really an XL, and I don't really know what to talk about this unless, and even the guy is not that entitled because he just assumed that that our OP works there, and he fires them because they were late again. Again for what? I don't know. Maybe he saw them a few times after they went into after midnight. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of that one story I remember hearing about that person that got fired from Walmart and eventually got banned from it because someone fired them from there. I don't know. This story is funny. It's a good finish, don't you think? So this will be all for today. I hope you all stay safe, stay hydrated, and I hope I'll see you all on my next video. Bye.